Is still dealing with the lingering effects of the civil unrest from over a year ago. A local activist and author has an intimate understanding of the city's most persistent racial issues and a unique perspective on how street culture affects the poorest black neighborhoods in the city. And Kevin Sheard is the author of Uprising in the City, and he joins us this morning to propose solutions that will help move the city forward. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning.
Did I say your last name correctly?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I was just making sure. I hate to miss that. So we were talking a little bit about this book, and this really hits home to you because you are a Baltimore native.
Yeah, and looking at that situation from a different perspective, you have a different understanding, right? These are problems that have been brewing for years. It wasn't just that day, something happened at Mondawmin Mall where a bunch of kids decided to. It was bigger than that. It was deeper than that. We're talking about poverty. We're talking about unemployment. We're talking about a lack of opportunities that have been festering for years, decades. You're talking about a city with a 23% poverty rate. So a quarter of our city is living in poverty. And those are the things that also need to be addressed. The police brutality issue is a very important issue that we must address. But it's also other issues like unemployment, like poverty, like giving people hope, giving these young people hope for the future, that when I do grow up, I have a chance to be somebody in life. And dealing with the poverty issue. I mean, Baltimore is one of the poverty issue in Baltimore is one of the biggest in the United States, and we have to address that.
And I was reading, you've really used your life experience over time and put that into this book to kind of talk about some solutions to these problems.
Yes, and so we really have to put poverty at the forefront of how do we make Baltimore a better city, right? Because poverty affects young people in ways that we don't even discuss. I mean, we're talking about the brain development of young kids. So, I saw one study that said a child born into poverty in Baltimore has a 7% chance of getting out of poverty in their lifetime.
Wow.
Right? So when I first saw that statistic, I was like, no, this can't be true. And then I started doing research, and I found that study online. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And that was one of the things that prompted me to even write this book, because I realized that this is a lot deeper than just police brutality. We got some other issues that we have to discuss, and we're not having a conversation about it.
So tell us a little bit about people who are interested in the book, what they can expect to get out of it.
A better overview of Baltimore, the history of Baltimore, how Sparrows Point, the closing of Sparrows Point and globalization and losing those jobs from one of the biggest employers in Baltimore played a huge role over decades of employment, because we never really was able to fill that void. And now, Johns Hopkins, University of Maryland, and Baltimore City government are the biggest employers. But Sparrows Point at one time was the biggest employer in Baltimore City.
All right, well, I'm sure a lot of people are looking forward to dig into the book. Again,
Thanks.
The book's name is Uprising in the City, and don't go away.